A Denton County fire leaves a man in critical condition.
And Ukraine families flee the country as Russia continues to invade.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us for ntTV News at Noon. I'm Austin Wright.
And I'm Jalen Jackson. We have a great show for you today. A Denton resident was in critical condition after a house fire Sunday afternoon on Royal Acres Drive. In a news release from the fire department, firefighters received a call about the fire at 1:55 p.m. and were on the scene within 2 minutes. Firefighters found the victim in a back bedroom that had heavy smoke conditions but no active fire. After CPR, firefighters transported the man to a local hospital. He had a pulse but was in critical condition. The cause of the fire has appeared to be accidental in nature, according to the release. Updates will be released today on the victim's condition and the cause of the fire.
As firefighters make progress against the Atkins Avenue fire, more than 1,000 homes have been evacuated. The fire has burned 1,400 acres and is only 30% contained. The Florida Department of Emergency Management reports 8 homes have been destroyed. Here's what evacuee Jessica Hogans had to say.
It was terrifying. I ran to my daughter's room, I ran to my son's room and was like, it's a fire down there with Granny and Papa, Granny and Papa house, each of there, and we don't know what's going on and I can't get a hold of them. So it was just terrifying because I didn't know if it hit them or what was going on.
The evacuation order will not be lifted until it is safe for residents to return back to their homes. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. A county-wide burn ban has been put into effect until further notice.
This weekend felt so nice and warm, but on my way to the studio, it was chilly again.
I know, this weather has been very confusing, but I know someone who can tell us what to expect today. Let's turn it over to our weather anchor, Sydney DeShawn. Sydney?
Well, Austin and Jalen, we can expect chilly temperatures today and tomorrow. Let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions here in Denton. Right now we are sitting at 45 degrees and it does feel slightly chillier at 43 with those high wind speeds at 13 miles per hour. Now moving on to tonight, our temperatures will warm up to 48. It will feel about the same with lower wind speeds at 8 miles per hour. Now looking at tomorrow's forecast, tomorrow will be about the same. It'll be 46, feeling like 47 with low wind speeds at 6 miles per hour. Now that is it for our first look. Make sure to stay with us for our full weather forecast later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Iowa residents are gathering together to help clean up after multiple tornadoes tore through the Des Moines area Saturday. KCCI reporter Bo Bowman talks to the community of Iowa.
On this side of the fireplace, we had all of our kids' toys.
The Brown family walked out of their basement after Saturday's storm to find the east wall to their living room ripped away from the house. Shannon Brown was just getting home from work, parked her orange Jeep in the driveway next to her husband's truck when a tree broke loose and crushed it. She wasn't hurt and now is focused on the cleanup.
You know, you really realize who, cares about you and just makes you feel special. Like, you have all these people that are willing to help you.
Amazing. People I haven't seen in years are here helping. High school friends, people driving from Omaha.
Lori Langren's parents live right next door to the Browns. Their yard is covered in broken and uprooted trees. She was overwhelmed by her friends and family who showed up to saw and haul away the debris.
They're there when you need them for sure. And I think they all truly, if they say, call me if you need something, they mean it.
10-year-old Grayson Weedman was playing football on his front lawn when the storm rolled by his Norwalk home.
We were all kind of watching the storm happen, and then once they started seeing like it form and the debris fly, we started running down into the basement.
His family's backyard shed was crushed by the wind. 2 pieces of wood flew through Grayson's bedroom window.
I feel like pretty sad, but I'm not the saddest because I know that this can be like rebuilt and stuff. I'm just glad it wasn't the house.
Another Norwalk home was covered in sheet metal. Chunks of it broke off from the barns and wrapped around the trees at Bob and Ruth Dunn's family farm. Volunteers from all over Norwalk worked all day on Sunday to put their yard back to the way it was. David Adamson says that's just what you're supposed to do when disasters hit.
It's just a bunch of friends and a group of people showing up to help out the old Iowa way, you know.
Bo Bowman, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Governor of Iowa, Kim Reynolds, issued a disaster proclamation for Madison County. State resources can now be used to help response and recovery efforts.
Coming up, find out why WNBA star is currently detained in Russia.
And mask mandates are being lifted around the United States.
6, 7. Hey, didn't see you there. Just finished my 100th rep. You ready to train? Yeah! You got your weights? Yeah! You got your energy drink? Of course. You got time to go to the Pole Recreation Center? Yeah, what? Listen, I didn't even graduate high school. I can't teach for the life of me.
Instead, UNT is offering workout classes at a moderate pace, including yoga, cycling, Pilates, and more.
Don't rely on your dad's old workout videos. Check out the UNT Rec Center today.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go. Oh no!
That was a really good movie.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, so we have to watch the next one before next class, right?
We do?
I think so, but it's not on Netflix and it's not on Hulu, so...
Man, I don't want to pay for that.
So what do we do?
You think there's a place we could go to get the movie?
I'm not sure, maybe?
Oh, there's a place to get the movie.
Oh?
Really?
Yeah, it's right here on campus. Come on, I'll show you.
Home to some of the largest nuclear power plants in Europe, Russian forces are now in control of one of Ukraine's nuclear power facilities. People in the area have packed into a train station to evacuate, as no one knows what to expect. CNN reporter Sam Kiley shows us more.
A collective breath is held as a long-awaited evacuation train slows to a halt. The odds of getting out determined by access to a carriage door. Police struggle to contain the crowd. All are desperate to flee west. The mass evacuation from Zaporizhia is part driven by the recent capture of a nuclear power station by Russian invaders. Here they're being begged by the control room over a public address system to stop their attack on the 6-reactor plant, the biggest in Europe. They say, "You are endangering the security of the entire world. Attention, stop shooting at a nuclear hazardous facility. Attention, stop it." There is now a disregard as much for nuclear safety as civilian lives in cities across the country being bombarded by Russia. Scenes like this have not been seen in Europe since the Second World War in the 20th century. The mass evacuation of civilians from a major city. It's been accelerated here because the people now believe, based on the evidence that they've seen elsewhere in Ukraine, that it is civilians who are now going to be targeted in Vladimir Putin's invasion.
When Russian troops came closer to Zaporizhia, I decided it was better to get my family out before they entered the city itself.
We hope that we can make it on the train today, because this morning people didn't let us in, even though we have a baby.
This is a war that separates lovers and parts husbands from their wives, fathers from their families. Ukrainian men between 18 and 60 cannot leave. They're needed for the fight. You're staying here?
Yes, yes.
So this is goodbye, temporarily. Well, I hope in a week or two you can be back together again.
Дай Бог.
More than 1 million Ukrainians have fled their homeland so far, but more still are enduring these freezing conditions in the hope of a train to safety. But Mykola Timchishin, who's 80, is staying on. He's a former paratrooper in the Soviet army.
I made Molotov cocktails. I have great rifles. I'm a hunter with 40 years of experience. I have a medal left from the USSR. I'm staying. I hate them. All the invaders because of this, not to mention the fact that my grandson was bombed for a week in Kharkiv.
Those people who make it on board now face a 600-mile journey to Lviv. For those who don't, time and luck may be running out. Sam Kiley, CNN, Zaporizhia.
Seven-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Griner has been detained in Moscow on an account of drug charges and faces up to 10 years in prison. CNN's Rosa Flores reports.
As the diplomatic ties between the U.S. and Russia crumble, a WNBA star is caught in the middle. Phoenix Mercury center Brittany Griner was arrested on drug charges after Russian customs officials said they found vape cartridges that contained cannabis oil in her luggage at an airport near Moscow in February. Griner remains in custody.
I've talked to a couple of sources, and they said it's been a couple of weeks that this has been going on. One source said since the NBA All-Star game.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken gave few specifics on Griner's case.
Whenever an American is detained anywhere in the world, we of course stand ready to provide every possible assistance, and that includes in Russia.
The episode comes as the United States has implemented economic sanctions on Russia as its assault on Ukraine intensifies.
What does the timing of the detention tell you?
I think it tells you everything. The trajectory of the case now will probably be different. And so they will definitely look for a sort of a certain bargaining chip effect, propaganda effect.
Given the timing of this, does the U.S. have limited leverage given what's going on in Ukraine?
Oh, for sure. So President Putin has declared that the West is at war with him by levying these economic sanctions. He has likened them to war. And so this being an American citizen who can potentially be accused of carrying a substance she was not supposed to be carrying. Of course, whether that actually corresponds to the facts, we don't even know. And I wouldn't put anything beyond the authorities there. But so, yeah, this is probably a propaganda trick.
Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, who represents Griner's home city of Houston, calling for her release.
I don't want to disregard a sovereign nation, but Putin has disregarded sovereign nations his entire service in this world. And anyone that is killing and attacking and destroying Ukraine, their neighboring country that does not bother them, has no right to hold Miss Griner, period.
And Griner's wife, breaking her silence in an Instagram post thanking everyone for their support and writing, quote, "Please honor our privacy as we continue to work on getting my wife home safely." Back home in Houston, Griner's high school coach grew emotional, worried Griner could face severe consequences.
What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is that this will become that she'll be a political pawn.
If she, by any chance, watches this story, what would you tell her?
I would tell her, please know that you are loved by so many people. You've always had a true resolve and grit to get to the finish line, and know that you will get to the finish line of this trial you're going through, of this ordeal.
Yesterday, TikTok announced that they will be restricting some features in Russia in light of President Vladimir Putin's new law penalizing what he calls fake news. The social media app is suspending live streaming and new content from Russia for the time being. The new law states that anyone who spreads what Russia calls misinformation about its military could be subject to a 15-year prison sentence. Russian TikTok stars not affiliated with the government have gone silent, as simply using words like war and invasion could lead to trouble. TikTok says its in-app messaging service will continue to work in Russia as it evaluates its policy.
Netflix announced Sunday it will stop providing and selling its services in Russia. The move to support Ukraine will impact about 1 million Netflix subscribers in Russia. Netflix also halted all of its production, including 4 original Russian TV series, earlier this week. In another move, Netflix is making its documentary, Winter on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom, available to watch for free. Netflix hasn't yet specified what would happen to existing accounts in Russia or when or if service there might resume.
I heard our temperatures are going to warm up back this week.
And I heard it was supposed to rain this week. Let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Sydney Deshawn, to see what's in store this week. Sydney.
Thanks, guys. Our temperatures are going to warm up later this week, and we are also expecting rain as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions across North Texas. Right now, we can see that our temperatures are very consistent, with those temperatures being in the mid-40s. We have Decatur at 44. Our warmest points are going to be down in Dallas at 47 and down in Fort Worth at 46. And our chilliest temperature is going to be up in Gainesville at 43. Now, zooming out to our state map, our temperatures are looking a bit more sporadic. We can see that in El Paso, that's going to be our warmest temperature. It's going to be about in the 60s. And as we move up in the state, our temperatures are going to get cooler, with Amarillo being at 36. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our full weather forecast. While our temperatures are consistent throughout the day, the rest of the week looks quite different. Tomorrow we will be seeing similar temperatures to today. Wednesday, our temperatures will warm up all the way to 62. Thursday will be even warmer with lots of sunshine at 74. On Friday and Saturday, we will be seeing those chilly temperatures again. And then on Sunday, we will be back up to 71. So with all of these fluctuations going on, make sure that you guys are constantly checking your weather app, as we have no idea what to expect. But that is all I have for our full weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
New York City is taking another step forward as the pandemic slows down. The city is set to drop several safety protocols today, including a school mask mandate and vaccination requirements for businesses. Shantae Lands reports.
Are you excited about tomorrow?
Yes.
How come?
Because no masks.
Aviva and her dad are thrilled about masks being optional.
I think they should have done that a long time ago.
But that doesn't mean everyone's ready to ditch them tomorrow.
I think I'm going to wear them in school because in January, I actually got COVID and I didn't like it, and it felt really bad. And I know, like, on Thursday, one of the people in my class got COVID.
Bennett's dad says he's told his kids to do whatever makes them feel comfortable.
It's nice that they actually have that choice. And, I mean, our kids have been wearing them some of them for 25% of their lives.
We've worn masks for a long time, and it's a nice thing to do to have a break from masks at school.
But this mask break may not last forever. On Friday, the mayor said the city will be ready to pivot if there's a surge. A color-coded COVID alert system is now in place.
We also know that if somebody's going to wear a mask at school, we have to know we don't tell them what they should do or shouldn't do. We should just tell them, we should just know that they did that for a reason.
Right now, we're at the lowest level, with an average infection rate below 2%, which the mayor says makes many of the precautions we've been taking not necessary right now. Restaurants won't have to ask for vaccine proof, something some restaurant owners say has been challenging with customers.
At each level, there's clear guidance for what precautions New Yorkers should take.
Some of them, they don't want to listen. No, they don't want to wear a mask. No IDs, it wasn't easy.
The mayor says not everyone is going to feel comfortable right away.
8.8 million people, 30 million opinions.
Good news is that COVID-19 safety protocols were working and have helped to decrease the spread of the virus.
According to Johns Hopkins University, the global death toll for COVID-19 reached 6 million today. This comes just 4 months after the world reached 5 million. The U.S. has reported the highest number of deaths with more than 958,000, followed by Brazil, Russia, and Mexico. Experts say the U.S. may be in for near normal spring and summer, and say the move from the pandemic to endemic appears to be accelerating.
When we come back, Texas halts hormone prescriptions for transgender youth.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
State leaders have asked Child Protective Services to investigate gender-affirming care as child abuse. As a result, Texas Children's Hospitals say they have no choice but to halt certain prescriptions. Steve Champion has more.
Outrage among Southeast Texas's trans community continues to grow at this hour after Governor Abbott instructed CPS to investigate parents who work alongside doctors to give trans youth access to gender-affirming care. Just into Eyewitness News, Texas Children's released a statement confirming changes. Quote, "The mission of Texas Children's Hospital is to create a healthier future for all children, including transgender children, within the bounds of the law." After assessing the Attorney General's and Governor's actions, Texas Children's Hospital paused hormone-related prescription therapies for gender-affirming services. This step was taken to safeguard our healthcare professionals and impacted families from potential criminal legal ramifications, end quote. Trans activists and mental health experts warn the decisions being made in Austin could prove catastrophic for those most vulnerable.
The governor is not licensed in any professional way, neither is the attorney general who made this statement, and it directly conflicts with every single professional organization who has affirmed transgender care as a medical necessity. And that's the most important piece of this, is that they are unilaterally making a decision that goes against every single professional organization.
The people that have never had to think about their gender identity, that is such a privilege. Because those of us that have had to think about it, the reason is because we don't fit in to the two boxes that society has given us, male or female.
A judge has halted the governor's directive for now. Mental health experts say that these decisions should be left for the family and medical health professionals.
Since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, many Americans are paying more to fill up their vehicles. One area is seeing a major hike in prices at the pump, Sacramento, California. Shantae Passmore reports.
There's nervousness at the pump.
Obviously, it's going to be heartbreaking.
Jenny Valovidi hasn't filled up her gas tank since last week, before gas hit the $5 mark.
88, yeah. That's a lot more than I thought it'd be.
It usually costs about $65 to fill up, she says. It's a familiar scene at gas stations, the stare at the pump as people anxiously await to see the total cost.
Yesterday midday, I filled up for $34. I was up literally like probably, if not a quarter of a tank. Yes, midday. And right now, oh my gosh, that's so, yeah, I can't.
AAA reports yesterday's average for regular was nearly $5.18. Tonight, it jumped more than 10 cents at $5.29. In Sacramento, the current price for regular is $5.23. Drivers say they're feeling that squeeze. For Sean Stanley, the self-employed contractor says he'll need to not only pass off material costs to customers, but also his mileage to stay afloat.
We're trying our best. I mean, we're definitely watching our pennies on where we spend it, you know, but for the most part, I mean, it's kind of kicking our behind.
The current national average is $4.01 for regular, according to AAA, 10 cents below the highest recorded average that was reached in 2008.
Students are continuing to protest a UNT club around campus.
It has rapidly escalated over the weekend, too. Let's go to Ebony Kennedy in the field with more. Ebony?
Thanks, guys. I am outside of the Hurley Administration Building today where students gathered Saturday to protest the UNT Club. Protesters were calling out President Neil Smatras to step down from his post after he released a statement Friday condemning the actions of the same protesters. The action Smatras spoke of regarding a small group of the movement banging on doors outside of Curry Hall, the building YCT was inside of at the time, as well as some students who were inside of the meeting and protesting there as well. This is a developing story, and we will continue to keep you updated as it progresses. Back to you at the desk.
You know, I haven't been keeping up much with the sports scene lately.
I have just a bit, but I know someone who knows a little bit more than I do. Let's hand it over to our sports anchor, Ashton Cotton, for more.
That's right. Stay tuned to hear about Dallas Mavericks superstar Luka Doncic as he returns in tonight's game right after the break.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
The Dallas Mavericks are looking to make a big move in tonight's game against the Utah Jazz. Currently sitting in the 4th and 5th seed in the Western Conference standings, the Mavericks continue to chase Utah with only 17 games left remaining. Just 1.5 games behind the 4th seed, the Mavs look to star Luka Doncic in his returns after missing Saturday's afternoon game due to an injury. The Sacramento Kings Mavericks now with 5-game winning streaks, looking forward to welcoming back February's Western Conference Player of the Month. Tip-off is today at 7:30 p.m. In college basketball, North Texas took a tough loss this past Saturday against UTEP Miners, putting an end to their 15-game winning streak. Mean Green basketball trailed behind 14 points going into the half 21-35 Miners. North Texas picked up the slack coming out of the half, putting up 47 points to 3-21, but it wasn't enough to overcome the UTEP Miners. Final score was 68-70 Miners. North Texas did not take this upset lightly and plans to make a return in the upcoming conference this year. That's all. Back to you after this.
Thank you for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tomorrow for the latest coverage here at North Texas Television.